Let's get back to the wide receivers, but for Elijah Moore's old team. This kind of transitions a lot with Elijah Moore today. The Jets have a quarterback because they actually got Zach Wilson finally pushed to the bench permanently for all intents and purposes, permanently, because Aaron Rodgers is there. That's all that matters. They actually have a legitimate quarterback, which when you're competing with Mike White as talent-wise, things are going bad for Zach Wilson. So Aaron Rodgers comes in. We know it's a quarterback upgrade. You've heard me sit here and talk about the fact that I'm down on Garrett Wilson compared to consensus, is what we're talking about, because I had Garrett Wilson as a locked-in wide receiver 1 until the Allan Lazard signing. I think Allan Lazard's being overlooked, and I don't think Allan Lazard's going to be that big of a thorn in the side of Garrett Wilson, but I do think he is the end zone threat for Aaron Rodgers. He was with Davante Adams. He was the leading one for the Packers last year, even with Christian Watson, and Aaron Rodgers trusts him, which is why I'm concerned about Garrett Wilson. So that being said, this is why we need to talk about both of them. Meaning, Garrett Wilson, should he be a wide receiver 1? And then Allan Lazard, should he be outside wide receiver 3 territory, because that's where they are right now?
I think Lazard is getting overlooked as well. I mean, it's the old band back together. Nathaniel Hackett, former offensive coordinator in Green Bay. They got Lazard, Randall Cobb's on the squad too. I think
best ball
when it comes, best ball. I think when it comes down to situations where, maybe the game is tied or they're in the red zone, to your point, and Rodgers is just like, where's my old buddy Allan Lazard? We just know each other. We have that rapport. I'd imagine he looks his way, but I think Garrett Wilson still has upside to be a low end wide receiver 1. That's kind of where I have him ranked. I'll fight with myself in drafts whether I go him, T. Higgins, Chris Olave. I would go Olave over Garrett Wilson.
I actually moved Garrett Wilson behind Olave with the Allan Lazard thing. I had him flipped before that.
That's same.
Right.
It's a nice little tier in there too. You have 2s on Devontae Smith and T. Higgins are 2s on their own team, but they're still kind of right in that tier to me. Rodgers has really talked up Garrett Wilson as a player. He just says these things. He can never take him seriously, but he did compare him to Adams, which is just so disrespectful.
Who has Aaron Rodgers never talked up?
I know.
Honestly.
I really like Garrett Wilson. Reminds me of Devontae Adams. Come on, dude. But he's a really good player. I mean, there's no question. I think he's going to lead the team in targets and catches. But to your point, Lazard is going to be a factor there on the squad.
Yeah, I have this weird vision of the Lazard Wilson combo. Reminds me so much of the Chris Godwin, Mike Evans combo, right? So you have Mike Evans. It's not necessarily that target monster, but he's that big play, dude that when you need that long bomb, when you need an explosive play, you're going to go to Garrett Wilson, or in my analogy here, Mike Evans. But then there's the Chris Godwin that kind of gobbles up all of the middle of the field, maybe short yardage throws. I kind of see that interesting relationship. So I feel that there is a world where both of these wide receivers can do very well, but to discount Allan Lazard completely is a big mistake because they're going to be heavily involved. And Jake, just to use your terminology here, the security blanket, okay, where's my guy? I just got to do a quick little here, still getting kind of used to some things. But when that explosive play needs to happen, leave it to Garrett Wilson to bust off an 85-yard touchdown run, catch and run, and then just blow up in terms of fantasy. But that is not nearly as consistent as the target volume I think that Allan Lazard will pull. But there is a world where both of these guys can do very, very well. Very similar to maybe, Adam Thielen. And we had the Justin Jefferson conversation with Adam Thielen, and that there's Stephon Diggs, excuse me, when he played for the Vikings. But there's a world where these two things can happen. And I think if it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to be with Aaron Rodgers, and that's going to be with the Jets.
I'll give you a quick line here. Last year, in 15 games for Lazard, 100 targets, 60 receptions, 788 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Projections for what I have, by the way, you can go to The Athletic. Customizable projections. You can sit here and say, Jake, you're dumb. I think you're dumb. Many people have said, hey, Jake, you're dumb. You have Kadarius Toney way too high. I say, hey, I got him played 17 games. That's what projections are. Would I draft him that high? No, but 17 games puts him inside top 24. To put this into perspective, what we're talking about, Allan Lazard, I have him for 106 targets, only 6 more. And let me go back to him because I just lost my place kind of looking at it. There's a lot of names here. 68 receptions, 879 yards, and 7 touchdowns playing for the Jets. We're check-in fantasy point-wise is wide receiver 29. Not even top 40, wide receiver 29. And that's again, 17 games. He missed 2 last year. I don't think it's that hard to say that Allan Lazard could even do better than that.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair projections. And yeah, it's a wide receiver 3 that you're getting outside the top 35 at the position.
And that's with Garrett Wilson inside the top 15.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That's so you still have him as a top 15 wideout. Yeah, I mean, Rodgers didn't have a great season last year. We can say that. I mean, he threw more picks than he ever threw. I think the most since like 10 years or something, and he wasn't accurate inside the red zone. There was a lot of turnovers, but I think a change of scenery. He does seem like when's the last time we've seen him on the field in like OTAs and things like that? He always skipped out on this portion of the
season.
Well, let me ask you this.
Good point.
Projecting for 32 passing touchdowns for Rodgers, too high, too low, Meaney?
Yeah, I think that may be a little high. I mean, he could do it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think he could bounce back.
We know he can do it, but if you had to
take, I would lean with the under. I would lean with the under.
Okay, I was going to say, if I was setting the Vegas line with my projection said 32, to give you an idea for everybody listening, the last 4 years, because let's go back to 2019, because that one wasn't good, 4,000 yards, 26, but 4,026, 4,300, 48, 4,100, 37, and then last year, 37 and 26. So 26, 48, 37, 26. 2 way overs and 2 way unders.
Yeah.
Which way would you lean, Lauren? 32.
Yeah.
I even give you
That's such a good line.
It is
a good line.
I'm not surprised. Jake's projections are always on point.
I know. I'm going to go with Meaney here, and I'm going to lean the under simply because of this new fresh sitch that he's dealing with in New York right now. So I'm going to lean the under, but I don't like it as I speak it into existence. Now it's like 48 touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers.
Make it into crazy shootouts in the AFC too. I just wonder how will they lean on the run? Will they?
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
Defense too. Aaron Jones comes to mind. That's guy that's been like consistently catching 50 passes. Will Breece Hall be that guy? Will he catch? I know that he's dealing with the injury, but when he's full go, is that a guy that's going to get 4 or 5 catches per game and also like 10 to 12 carries? Are they going to kind of lean on him a little bit? So this schedule to start is really tough for the Jets. It'll be a fun year to follow this AFC division.
Can you believe we're saying that? It's going to be a fun year to follow the Jets.
Their schedule
can
do too. They start opening week with the Bills, they got the Chiefs, the Eagles. Yeah, hey, 5 primetime games. You know what it may be like? It may just be like Russell Wilson going to Denver, where we all thought the Broncos were going to be great. They were one of the worst offensive teams in football.
Oh my God!
We had to watch Russell Wilson like 5 or 6 times
June
on
6th,
prime
you
time.
just put this out there, Meaney. I'm
Nothing happened.
It.
Maybe it will be. Maybe it's just old man Rodgers. Like, do we believe in Nathaniel Hackett? Come on, this guy. He's brutal as a play call.
I love that you're doing this. All right, so then
I'm all about it.
I'm going sideways here all of a sudden.
Go.